Hi, I'm Jeremy. This is Wonder Tools. And in this post, I'm sharing some of my favorites. These are tools that I use regularly. And I'll start with Coda. Coda is a document tool. It's an interactive document tool, somewhat akin to Google Docs or Notion, if you're familiar with those. But what I love about it is that you can add in all sorts of embedded content, and you can link it to other apps that you use, like Slack or Airtable, for example. And here's an example of a document I created, which is a digital syllabus template. So it has embedded GIFs in this case. You can embed tables, you can embed videos, maps, social media graphics, really whatever you want. And you can allow people to click buttons and to add content or respond to content on a document page you've created. So it's a really powerful tool. It's very simple to use. You can use it for free. The next one is Day One. This is my journaling tool of choice. So beginning of the year is a great time to start a journal if you don't have one yet. And Day One is simple, works across platforms. Apple has a new journaling tool, but if you want a simple, nice, elegant tool that's been around for a while, actually, Day One is a great choice. I use it to create a simple journal about my life, reflect on the day after the end of the day, and also to create multiple journals for other things I want to think about, like books that I read. So I have a journal for just recording thoughts on books. And then, speaking of books, I actually print out my journal as a physical book. So every couple of years, I print one out and I put it on the bookshelf to be able to look back at memories of life. And there are many different kinds of journals you can create. If you want to keep it simple for yourself, you can create a one-sentence journal or a bullet journal or experiment with a gratitude journal or a story journal where you just relate stories of things that happen in your life. These are selections from a Medium post that I wrote about different kinds of journals that I'm linking to in this week's Wonder Tools post. The next tool I'm sharing is another one of my new favorites. This is Arc. It's a great browser. It's, I think, the best browser, the best alternative to Chrome. It has a lot of fancy features and great capabilities, but mostly I just like the pure and simple look. It's actually what I'm using to record this demo, and it's just very easy to use. It allows you to separate your work into different spaces. So each project can have its own space with different websites, for example. And yeah, just a great free alternative to Chrome or Firefox or Safari or whatever else you might use. The next one is for making lists. I like sharing lists with people, and Listy and Listium are both really great. This is an example of a list of Bill Gates's favorite books made with Listy, and you can see images are automatically pulled in once you put in the title. So the book covers come in, or in this case, this is the list of best albums as determined by Rolling Stone magazine, and the album covers are pulled in automatically. So it's really easy to use. It's free. You can share lists with people. And Listium is a great alternative as well. If you want more complicated lists or you want to sort your lists by different categories, this is a list of Netflix's top 100 comedies as determined by Metacritic and IMDb ratings. And it allows people to sort through, sift through, filter, view in different ways. Here's a list I made with Listium of the tools in the Wonder Tools archive. And here's a reading list of anti-productivity books I made. This one's with Listy, just to give you some examples of how you can use these. Here's one that somebody made with Listium of things to do in Sydney. And you can see here, they've made it in such a way that you can just read the list of things and even click through these different ideas with visual cards. So you can really use these quite flexibly and in really interesting ways. This one, again, is made with Listium. For making timelines to keep track of things over time, I love a tool called TimelineJS. There are other great timeline tools like BDoc's Timeline 3D, and you can see here on screen it allows you to create a three-dimensional kind of timeline that looks like a video as people walk through it. But TimelineJS is nice and simple, and you can make one with just a Google spreadsheet. So you just enter in the dates and then links to YouTube videos or Wikipedia entries or Flickr images that you want to include in your timeline. And here's an example of one made with TimelineJS of important women in the history of computing. And you can see here a Google map is embedded, a YouTube video is embedded, a Wikipedia entry is embedded, a SoundCloud file is embedded. So you can do all kinds of nice embeds in your timeline. It's completely free to use, works across platforms, and you can see a lot of great publications have used TimelineJS to make their own timelines for professional purposes as well as for casual amateur purposes. One of the next tools I love for brainstorming is Oasis. This is a phenomenally simple tool. You just click and record. It's like a dictation or digital recorder. But what's great is it transforms what you say using AI. So it'll give you a summary of what you've said, an outline of what you've said. It'll transform what you said into an email or a blog post draft or a newsletter draft or even a script for a social video you're making. And it's generating this new version of your own content. And for me, it's a great way to just brainstorm while I'm walking, just get my ideas out onto paper. And I love the simplicity and the utility of it. And you can use it in a lot of different ways. I use it when I'm walking just to think out loud. You can use it while you're commuting to get your ideas down before the start of the day, or just while you're looking out the window to think about some new project. And it'll correct the grammatical errors. It'll take out the ums and ahs. It'll give you a nice version. And you can even customize the prompt so you can give it a way to format the response if you want it to. Finally, the last of the 7 I'm sharing today is Google Photos. This is fantastic for backing up your images. You can also use it to edit images. You can use it to share images with other people in an album, or even to print out a book of images. So you can use it in a lot of different ways. I like creating shared albums with it that people can contribute to for events or for groups. This is an example. And it can be used in a lot of different ways, flexibly and for free on any platform. So these are some of my picks. I hope they are useful for you. I'd be curious which of the tools you find most useful on a regular basis and what your favorites are. So thanks for watching and for reading Wonder Tools. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your favorites as well.